Welcome everyone. Can you believe it's week 6? We're already halfway through this program. So hopefully you're been practicing with your concentration last week, because this week I've been guided to add repetition to that. So the meditation today is going to be one of those ones that you could use. It's not that long, but it is something that could set you up for the rest of your life, for a focus type meditation. So I just want to mention firstly that this meditation sort of comes from a monk, or is now a Hindu priest, but he did spend 10 years with monks as a monk, Dan, and I've been working with him recently, and he talks about the monk's perspective, and I'd just like to share with you that quite often we think that the monks are based in religion, and it's quite a bit of a fallacy actually, because they're actually inspired to look within to themselves, and that's why they spend so much time in meditation and looking within. So they're actually in spirit, so they're inspired by what they find within. So yes, once they find in with, a religion comes up to it, but it's actually about being spiritual. Monks are actually spiritual people. And like I said, they're inspired in spirit. They look within. So with that in mind, this meditation today did come from Dan originally, but as I was in meditation this morning, I am completely changing the second half of it around and it's more in line with the energies that I've been working with. So it'll be the first time this meditation's ever been done. So I hope you enjoy it. But I just want to track back to why repetition. And basically, when we're born, our brain functions in a brainwave called theta, or theta. Theta. So those theta brainwaves are the same as the brainwaves that are utilised by hypnosis. So for the first 7 years of our lives, our brain actually functions in this creative energy, and it's a real creative energy, and that's why under age 7 and that we have that great imagination, and we can grab a broom and pretend it's a horse and those sorts of things. But the other thing that those first 7 years of hypnotic type of upbringing is, it sets our subconscious programs, which basically runs 95% of our mind, of our brain. So those patterns and those lessons we learn in our first 7 years. So whatever you're exposed to, and you're exposed to mainly with your peers, your parents, your teachers, daycare parents, all those types of influences, they actually are passing on their programming that they got from their significant people around them, who got it from them prior to that. So if you can imagine that a lot of these programs we're functioning on, part of them could be hundreds of years old, and they're really not relevant in today's world. So unfortunately, 95% of our subconscious programming is done in these first 7 years. Our brainwaves start to change after that, and we can add to those programs, but it's not as easy as that first 7 years. And that's what's really important to try and set your children up for success, and not keep repeating your old programs if you've identified that they don't work for you. I shudder when I hear things I say to my kids, and I really go, oh my God, my mother used to say that to me, and it's so wrong, especially around money blocks and, food. Eat everything on your plate. There's someone in some poor country that's not getting fed. All these things that are then, in actually fact, set me up for eating disorders, a couple of those ones. But without going into that too far, hypnosis is our training, our learning pattern for the first 7 years. So that 95% has got those filters and programs in place. Now, the only way we can update those programs or change those programs is through either hypnosis or repetition. So repetition, if you can think about driving a car. You don't just get in a car and put it in gear and know how a clutch works and off you go. You know, who hasn't done their first bunny hop from the first time they drop the clutch and things like that? So you practice and practice until it becomes second nature. And nowadays I will get into my car and it actually is a meditative process for me now, because my body goes onto autopilot. The subconscious takes over. It knows to look out for threats. It knows how to turn the blinker on when I think, oh, I'm going to turn right. I don't think, right, I've got to turn right. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to turn that blinker on. Then I'm going to look in the mirror. And you don't talk yourself through the process. It is automatic. And that's repetition. So today we really want to include repetition and its importance in our practice. So concentration, first of all, is constant, as we've been doing last week, but then to increase that concentration we can use repetition, add that to that. So if you want to learn a new program, first of all you've got to identify what is it that you want to change, and meditation also helps us with that. So it's sort of like the infinity symbol. It's that figure 8 where you're going through one process that takes you into the other process. So by working with meditation and working with repetition, they support each other. So the more that we repeat the process, the easier it becomes. It becomes built into our subconscious and allows us to access our meditative areas of our brain and our bodies so much easier. So just while I'm touching on that, I also want to just bring up triggers. I was thinking of doing it in a separate post, but it's just come to me now. We've got to do it now. So also to help you set up for meditation, as I know some of you are still struggling with the repetition and finding time and all that sort of thing, there's a couple of things you can do. One is always, wherever you can, meditate in the exact same place. I have a chair in the lounge room that I don't normally sit on unless I'm meditating. So our body starts to see that repetition. You go in and you sit down in that spot, and straight away my body starts to calm down, my mind starts to calm down. It's like, okay, it's time. We're going to take some time out, go within, do some breathing, whatever it is. But it is a trigger to help me set up for a meditation process. I also have a salt, the Himalayan salt lamp. I'll go and turn that on. That is another trigger to say I'm going into that process. I have a girlfriend that meditates to the same music. She puts earphones in and puts some music on gently. It's one of her favourite artists. So she plays that in the background through her earpiece, very gently, but that triggers her brain into going, right, we're going into some calming meditation practice. So there's some of the triggers. Another trigger for you, just when you're out in the world, is to use the word higher. So if we've discussed that someone might be triggering you and we want to use that 16-second breath, you can do the 16-second breath and then say, what is my highest good in this? How can I get to a higher connection? Where's my higher wisdom? What is the highest I can get out of this, whatever that problem is? So sometimes there's words like that can help you through your day. But as for a meditation practice of repetition, the one we're going to do today is all about spine. And it's bringing energy into the spine and then sending it back out. It really is a fantastic process, and I hope you will enjoy it. So yes, repetition. Let's start in retraining our brain. I think you'll find that if you do your practice regularly, when you stop it, that's when you know you're benefiting from it, because things will start to go a bit pear-shaped and you might get more frustrated. For me, headaches come straight back when I went a couple of weeks with whatever was going on and I missed my practice, and it actually set me backwards, set me into negativity. And once I've re-established my practice and identified what's going on, what do I need to change, and I realised, it's just my routine's gone out the window, bring the routine back. So I hope you're all honouring yourself and making time for yourself. You are the most important person in your life. If you are not the most important person in your life, that is probably something you can meditate on and try and work out why. Why is it that I can't make time for myself? This really is important, guys. You've really got to make time for yourself to function in today's society. You've got to make time for yourself if you want to move forward and really discover what is it makes you tick. Along the way, you'll discover talents you didn't know you had, but you can't do that unless you focus on yourself. So make yourself a priority. Cut 10 minutes. I'm thinking this one might be 10 minutes. I'm not sure till it's done. It'll be done for the first time today. I'm not really sure. But if you can't do anything else, do the body scan. But this one is a similar type of body scan, but with a twist. So I'll see you all shortly. Make sure you're sitting yourself up where your spine must be straight. So your sitting is probably the best way. A really good way to know that your concentration is working is you can cup your hand that way, and then join your thumbs and rest your hands. And while your thumbs are touching, you know that you are concentrating on what you're doing. When we tend to go off airy-fairy, our thumbs will separate. So just having your hand cupped and thumbs is another practice sitting in your lap that you can do, and it's another trigger. It's like, oh, she's in the hand position, she's sitting in the chair, she's got the salt lamp on. It's time to relax. So it could take a while to build this practice up, this repetition, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to become, and the more joy you're going to get out of your life. See you all shortly.